case you've been encircled and engulfed with all the Caribbean Premier League cricket and everything else that has been happening, all the changes that has been happening with the West Indies men's team, the West Indies women's team actually virtually got whitewashed this week against the visiting Australian team, right in our own backyard as well. And it's real cause for concern because we're just about 5 months out from the Women's World T20 that takes place in February next year. Now, this is a tournament that we've traditionally done very well in. In fact, we've won one of those tournaments. So how concerning is it that the West Indies women's team has really just plummeted? We're about 7 out of 8 teams in the world at the present moment. To talk a little bit about West Indies women's cricket, I had the chance to speak with former West Indies women's captain Merissa Aguilleira yesterday. I want to play you bits of that interview. Merissa, thanks a lot for joining us. How are you enjoying retirement?
It's good so far. Enjoying every moment of it. I think I've worked hard, and it's just a moment of, really relaxing and taking up everything in consideration that I've missed out. So pretty much, I'm pretty much enjoying it.
Do you miss playing cricket?
To be honest, not really. I think you see sometimes as much as you enjoy something, it will have a time when you had enough, and I think I really had enough, and probably heading into a different direction. Not probably, but heading into a different direction now. So
well, look,
thank you.
They miss you, all right? They absolutely miss you because I'm not sure how much you've had the chance to follow the Australian series, but we lost the one-day international series 2-0, and that first one-day match was actually abandoned without a ball being bowled because of rain. And then on Wednesday night, we lost the T20 series 3-0. What have you made of this series?
Yeah, I know it's a really disappointing series. I think the entire players will be thinking about, especially knowing that we haven't really won a series against like the top 7 teams in the world, against them for probably the last series we won probably like about 2017 or so. So I know that will be in the back of their heads, and our 50 overs cricket has really gone down the drain, and it's something that we really need to take in consideration and continue to work hard at. But we had over 6 players, 6 of our top players out, and I know that will contribute a bit to the defeat, but after all, you can see that there are some youngsters that is really growing up, and they are really molding them in the right direction. Because you can see Shibika Gashnabi, she did well, and also Shanita Griman from Guyana. So I think it was a really bad series for them, and I know they will be thinking really hard about it. But it's all about making sure that they continue to work hard on their game, and there's so much to be done, so much to be done.
Yeah, I know that you're an eternal optimist. You've always been an optimist, even in your playing days. But what has triggered this landslide in West Indies women's cricket? I mean, they used to do better than the men at one point. Now they're doing as equally as bad as the men.
Yeah, I think, not all the time you will be up. It will have some times where you will have some difficult times. You can see that the CWI is really putting some good effort into the ladies by getting them involved in a lot of camps. And I don't know if that they are being a bit homesick, staying away from home so long and having to have these really stressful camps. But I believe that it's really disturbing to see what is happening, because, I mean, obviously, everyone is looking at the West Indies women's team, and everyone understand the level of skills that the players have and what they can really contribute out there, but something is just not clicking. So I guess it's something probably that is mental, because it's basically the same players, so it's nothing to panic about. I really think it's more mental and believing in themselves and understanding that they can do it. Because when you look at some of the other teams and their big players are not around, they still stand up and really give it a fight. But unfortunately, we probably take in consideration and say, well, our big players are not around, and it's okay to lose. But at the end of the day, I think it's mostly about believing in yourself, and the players then really need to take that in consideration, because things are not looking good, and the fans will be concerned, CWI will be concerned, and they have a World Cup to play soon in February, and they will be hoping to be back on track soon.
Yeah, how much of a problem do you think the off-field issues are? When I say off-field, I'm talking about the management of the team, the coaching of the team. Do you think those are things that need a little bit of shaking up?
I think the management is fine. They have some good staff. I mean, I've always been impressed with the coaches and even Gus Logie. You know, if you see him out there, always giving out his all. The manager, Mr. Anne Brown John, physio trainer. I know a lot of people probably might be talking about the fitness of the players, if they're fit, if they can endure to the 50 overs, through the 50 overs. So a lot of questions are being asked. And but I truly believe that the management staff is good. I don't really think that there is an issue there, but I honestly think that it's all up to the players to really believe in themselves and know that they are a team that won the 2016 World Cup and they can do it again. But it's all about believing in themselves. Yes, they are going through a really rough time, but at this point in time, I really think that leadership is something that they should really take in consideration in sense of it's not, I often tell the players, it's not about just being a captain, but it's about being a leader. And they need to understand that there are certain times where you don't really have to be a captain in order to be a leader. And leadership is really important in a team dynamics because at the end of the day, you don't really need a captain to be always talking to you and trying to, put you in certain positions or, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to do that for yourself. You have to be able to think on your own. So it's more about developing leaders and not just, players who are willing to follow one individual because Stephanie Taylor, she has been doing a good job, but it's really difficult for her because, as a captain, not winning series, it can be real strenuous. So at the end of the day, you need players to pick up the slack and really try to be strong leaders and understand it's all about picking up your role and responsibilities as individuals and really trying to get the team to that next level. Because when you look at the Australians and the England team and the way how they project themselves and when they go to the training and how they approach their training, it's things to take pattern from. So I think it's really about, other than the management staff, it really comes down to the players and how they project themselves and how they approach their training and how they think about the possibility of moving up the ladder. Because right now, we have never been in this position before. We are seventh. And it's really, really, really difficult to look at that. We are seventh out of the 8 teams. So it's something that really needs to think about.
Merissa, do you think that West Indies women, while we were at the pinnacle of our game here in the Caribbean, while you were in your playing days, do you think that India women, Australia women, South Africa women have all gotten better and we've just remained stagnant here in the Caribbean? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I can say that as well because, you often hear the coaches mentioning about you get a start, try to get it into big figures and so on. And sometimes it's like when you look at some of our players, it's like we are contended with probably getting 20s or getting 30s. And, you think that's enough. So when you get out, you just go back out in the pavilion and you sit down and probably smile a bit, and it's something to sit down and think about because these girls, when you look at the other players and because even Pakistan, we lost against Pakistan in the 50 over series and it's really heartbreaking, but at the end of the day, all the other teams, they are moving and it seems like we are being stagnant. So it's not about just depending because, we often find that we depend on individuals. If the Stephanie Taylor, the Andrea Dutton, Hayley Matthews, if these players don't really step up, it's really difficult for the others to really think about themselves, to value enough within themselves to know that, here, what, I am in this team. I think that, I can contribute. I can bring something to the table. So it's all about them understanding their roles and responsibilities and knowing that you can reach to a position where you can really take your game to a different level. And it's always good to look at the opposition, look at how they operate, look at how, how passionate they are. Because, I've been looking at the television and the games, and you find that the vibes and how the players operate, it's not there. They get a wicket, they will just walk to each other, get in the little huddle, say a little few things, and then, everybody go back to their respective fielding position. And that takes away, because at the end of the day, it's all about West Indian cricket. Our cricket is a bit different. We have a bit of entertainment together with our cricket, and it's all about enjoying what you do. And you're not seeing the players enjoying what they are doing. You're not seeing that. And I think that is a cause for concern, because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're going to be in problems, because you're just going to be forcing yourself to get the job done. And it's just, about just going out there and making it so much easier than just enjoying it and being, because I've been looking at even the past World Cup that recently gone, and you can see the passion and how enthusiastic the players were, and how they operated, and in celebration, and how they get together and they hug each other, and it was a big difference. And when you're looking at the television now, and you're looking at the past series, and you're wondering what is wrong, what is really going wrong, because the passion, the joy, it is not there. And it's something that we are accustomed. And I mean, I have been there for quite a while, and I know that brings a difference to the team, because they are accustomed to operating to that level, and you're not seeing it. So that means something is lacking.
Merissa, time for a CPL for women in the Caribbean, you think?
Definitely. I think it's something that probably they're thinking about. Even, we have our franchise. I mean, it's a bit small, but at the end of the day, it's something to draw attention and try to market the product to get it out there, But we are trying to do our best in the lines of getting, CPL to be interested in purchasing, probably, getting the women's sport out there, because, I mean, you're seeing the Big Bash and even the Kia League in England. So, I mean, it's something that they could really take in consideration. I know the women bring a lot of excitement to the playing field. We bring, something different, but at the end of the day, it's just about marketing ourselves properly and making sure we can get it out so that the product can be, interested, and CPL can want to get on board with it.
Merissa, I really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for chatting with us on The Morning Shot.
Okay, then, no problem.
Merissa Aguilleira, the former West Indies women's captain, talking to us on The Morning Shot today.